with coverage you can count on. This is Channel 3 Eyewitness News Today.
After hours of testimony, the sentencing is now delayed. Michelle Herron has the latest on a fatal hit and run case.
Plus, another lawsuit is filed in the Woodmore bus crash and new details on what could change when it comes to students getting to school. 6:30, let us say good morning, Tennessee Valley. So glad you're tuned in to Channel 3 Eyewitness News Today. I'm Latrice Curry.
And I'm John Martin. I feel like David Karn should read this part of the script here. Can we bring in the three? Are you ready? David, do you want to do this one?
Okay, campers, rise and shine, and don't forget your booties, because it's cold out there today.
It's Groundhog Day.
There you go.
And our resident wildlife reporter, Tim Phan,
Should have been Sonny and Cher playing
is going to be in a little bit later to check on Chuck. We don't care about that because we're just going to talk about current temperatures. So I'll be go ahead.
51 Chattanooga, 48 Cleveland, 45 Murphy, 45 Dalton. A few light rain showers moving through.
Very good.
Very efficient. Very efficient.
You are so efficient.
48 noon and 51 by 3 p.m. We're going to have some of those sprinkles lingering on throughout the day. Quick, back up to us real quick. I want to do this. If you can indulge me for just a moment. A reading. This is 2 seconds. A reading. Groundhog Day used to be known as Candlemas back in Germany many, many years ago.
Yeah.
If Candlemas be fair and bright, winter has another flight. If Candlemas brings clouds and rain, winter will not come again. So basically, I think we're looking at clouds, which means the groundhog is not going to see a shadow, which means an early spring. That's my prediction.
And I just heard from our producer, you had a response from Punxsutawney Phil on your Twitter just now. I don't know if you're aware of this.
I'm not aware of this.
Okay, well, that just happened.
Well,
I did just tweet and put him in there.
I do like that the world of meteorologists are coming together to
Punxsutawney Phil's paying attention.
Absolutely. So maybe my forecast is influencing
Punxsutawney
pretty
Phil
cool,
right
what's
now.
going on in Gobbler's Knob.
All right, we'll have to see what they say. All right, thanks, David. Well, topping your news, it will be another month before a woman involved in a fatal hit-and-run crash with a local runner learns her fate.
Yeah, after hearing nearly 6 hours of testimony, a Hamilton County judge delayed the hearing Wednesday. Channel 3 Eyewitness News reporter Michelle Herron joins us now with why the judge couldn't make a decision. Michelle, good morning.
Hey, good morning to you. Well, those on both sides will have to wait until March for a decision from Judge Tom Greenholtz because he says some of the facts regarding the case are still unclear. Now, the judge listened to 911 calls, witnesses, and looked at video and pictures during the 6-hour hearing yesterday. Valerie Bray, who's charged in the case and took a plea deal, also took the stand telling her side of what happened that fatal September day publicly for the first time. The judge also heard statements from both sides.
My son that I'll never see again until I die.
I honestly believe she would have rendered aid to Cameron Bean if she knew she didn't.
Cameron Bean's parents say they want to see Valerie Bray serve the maximum sentence of 1 to 2 years in prison. The court will reconvene again on March 3rd. In the studio, I'm Michelle Herron. Back to you guys.
All right, Michelle, thank you so much for that live update this morning. Other stories we're following at this time, we're telling you about a new lawsuit filed on behalf of the Woodmore Elementary bus crash victims. A Chattanooga couple who had 3 children riding on the Woodmore school bus the day it crashed filed the lawsuit. Katir and Jasmine Mateen filed the suit against Durham School Services and the bus driver, Jothany Walker. One of their children, Zayaria Mateen, was one of 6 students killed in the crash. The lawsuit asked for unspecified damages.
In Nashville, a new bill regarding school transportation was introduced Wednesday. If approved, the bill would require companies that transport children to and from schools to hire drivers who are at least 25 years old. It would also establish a school transportation supervisor program, along with requiring new drivers to complete a training program prior to taking the wheel.
Well, the deadline to register to vote in the Chattanooga election is Monday. Candidates for the next mayor are Larry Groen, David Crockett, Chris Long, and current mayor Andy Burke. And 6 of the 9 city council members will be decided. 3 are running unchallenged: Ken Smith in District 3, Carol Burris in District 6, and Darren Ledford of District 4. Early voting starts in 2 weeks, Election Day, March 7th. You can find your voting location by visiting our website at WRCBTV.com.
Well, the U.S. men's soccer team is in the Scenic City.
And we're glad they're here. On Wednesday afternoon, they visited the Highland Park Commons for the groundbreaking of a new indoor soccer field. This phase 2 of the construction, it will bring 3 additional fields to the park, and the U.S. Soccer Foundation is helping with the project. They're providing the lights on the field. The U.S. men's soccer team will play Jamaica tomorrow at Finley Stadium, and it will be a packed house, an exciting evening. All right, well, today many people are turning to a certain groundhog up in Pennsylvania for what the next 6 weeks hold weather-wise.
We ain't need no Pennsylvania groundhog. We got our own. We have got, well, we had one, so maybe we do need it because our live shot just went down.
Yes.
So maybe we need Punxsutawney Phil, but we're waiting at some point, hopefully, Tim Pham hanging out at the Tennessee Aquarium with Chattanooga Chuck. We need that at some time to take place so we know what the forecast will be.
All right, but of course, can we put up a lot while we're waiting? Do we have the live shot of Punxsutawney Phil, though?
I think we lost everything.
Everything?
Yeah.
Okay. All
it's
right.
just us now.
All right. All right. We'll be back after this. Coming up on Channel 3 Eyewitness News today, a look at your top business headlines as we head out to Wall Street.
First, though, here's a look at what's coming up on the Today Show.
Good morning. The Trump White House has now put Iran on notice. Mike Flynn, the national security advisor, issuing a sharp warning to Iran because of a missile test launch on Sunday. Not its first, but this a very big difference from the Obama White House reaction to Iran. A lot to chew over as the new Secretary of State was sworn in and takes over today. We'll have a lot more coming up on Today.
right, today it's February 2nd, so many people are turning to a certain groundhog up in Pennsylvania for what the next 6 weeks hold weather-wise.
But why do that? Well, we've got number 1, David Carnes, and number 2, Channel 3's Tim Pham hanging out at the Tennessee Aquarium with Chattanooga Chuck. This is the best thing you're going to see on television today. Good morning, Tim Pham.
Hey, good morning, guys. Really excited about this. Why go to Pennsylvania when right here in Chattanooga we have our very own Chattanooga Chuck? You can see he's in the cage right now, coming right out. Let's see if he hops up on that log. What good timing. So Chattanooga Chuck, he is a groundhog. Obviously, he is one of the top 5 groundhogs to watch according to several magazines. Let's see what he does. We want to know if we're going to have a longer winter, if you want to call this winter, or if we'll have an early spring. So let's see what happens.
Good morning. This is Chattanooga Chuck. Chattanooga Chuck is our groundhog, or also known as a woodchuck or a whistle pig. If we take a quick look at his face, you may recognize him as another type of animal that you find in your backyard. He's actually a member of the squirrel family. And there are lots and lots of folklore surrounding groundhogs and predicting the weather as to whether or not he's going to have more spring, or if spring is on the way, or if winter is still going to hang around for just a little longer. But groundhogs are usually not the very best weather predictors. You know, this tradition started in Europe as a celebration of Candlemas, which happened between the winter solstice and the spring equinox. And in Europe, they would use an animal like a badger. However, when settlers came to the United States,
it seems as if we've gone into educational class here about groundhogs, and that's very exciting. I'm glad we are learning about.
Well, let's see what she's saying. Hold on just a minute.
He would be a great substitute for that. And now, groundhogs are a little different than a lot of the other squirrels that you find around our area, because we generally think of them as eating lots of different types of nuts. But groundhogs live down under the ground, making these extensive burrow systems that can be a tunnel as long as a school bus. So they do a lot of digging, and they're going to eat more of the things that they find on the ground. So more of the leaves, the stems, the softer parts of plants. Well, he can't really store those like other squirrels can cache the nuts. So his method for surviving the winter is to actually hibernate. So he goes to sleep about Thanksgiving time and doesn't fully wake up until much closer to Easter time.
So I don't see the groundhog shadow. I don't see, me personally, I don't see the groundhog shadow. I'm just saying because it's kind of cloudy out. It's dark. So I don't see the groundhog shadow. But
Yeah,
that's
how
just
about
me,
that?
which would mean an early spring. Take a look right here. You can see, if it's cloudy, there's no shadow. That means an early spring. So that's what I'm going with. In Punxsutawney, it's also cloudy and like 30 degrees. And so probably an early spring there too. This is probably, it's not official. The groundhogs have not said yet, but that's my guess. If there are no clouds, then the groundhog sees his shadow, and that means 6 more weeks of winter. Whatever. Early spring, late winter, we're looking at above average temperatures for the next 3 months, really, February, March, and April. So if you want to call it a continuation of a very mild winter, an early spring, whatever, it's going to stay warm, basically. 51 right now in Chattanooga, 46 in Dalton, 44 in Altamont, and 45 degrees in Athens, Murphy at 45. And here we go, a few light showers across the Cumberland Plateau, drifting through. You see a little spot of heavy rain up around.
Well, I think we have an update.
Are we doing it?
We have an update. Yeah, Tim Pham has
Let's
now.
go to Tim. Do we see a shadow? Do we not see a shadow?
Hey guys, yeah. So early spring, take a look. Chattanooga Chuck, he just called it an early spring here in Chattanooga. I think we all kind of agree on that. It's been pretty warm lately, but that was pretty interesting to hear all of that from Susie here from the Tennessee Aquarium. And what a cute guy. This is pretty awesome. Look at him.
All right.
There we go.
There we
Chattanooga
go.
Chuck. Did not see a shadow in early spring, David.
All right.
And we had a nice educational piece there this morning. So
I feel good that my forecast about the groundhogs forecast came true.
yeah,
That's good.
yeah. All right.
Gives you
Well,
credibility, Carnes.
That's pretty good. All
A
right.
little traffic.
Here we got no incidents to report this morning. This is 24 Rossville Boulevard. More on woodchucks and cars. I don't know what's going on anymore. It's 6:45 in the morning. We'll be back after this.
All right, welcome back. Time now to get down to business. News on the interest rates. Plus, and also Facebook hits another milestone. CNBC's Morgan Brennan has a look at the day ahead in your business news.
The market's ending mostly higher yesterday following the Federal Reserve's decision to leave interest rates unchanged. That move was widely expected. The Fed is still forecast to hike rates 2 to 3 times this year. In its statement, the central bank noting measures of consumer and business sentiment have improved of late. Look for data today on unemployment and worker productivity. The Dow rising 26 points yesterday to 19,890. The Nasdaq up 27 to 5642. And watch shares of Facebook today. The social media giant's quarterly earnings easily beating Wall Street forecasts thanks to continued strength in mobile ads. Facebook is also closing in on another milestone, 2 billion monthly active users. The company says 1.86 billion currently check in on their profile and newsfeed at least once a month. An IBM supercomputer is getting into the tax business. H&R Block is teaming up with Watson to work on identifying credits and deductions using artificial intelligence. Watson has already been used to find solutions in healthcare, retail, and other settings. With your CNBC Morning Business Report, I'm Morgan Brennan.
All right. Well, in Delaware, there is an ongoing hostage situation at a prison. Officials say a corrections officer radioed for help just after 10:30 Wednesday morning. When other officers responded, 4 people were taken hostage and the facility was placed on lockdown. 2 employees and more than 24 inmates have been released. The correctional center is a level 5 facility for the state's most violent offenders and houses about 2,500 inmates.
All right, the former CEO of ExxonMobil, Rex Tillerson, was confirmed as President Donald Trump's Secretary of State. Despite opposition, the Senate approved the nomination Wednesday afternoon by a vote of 56 to 43, mostly along party lines. 4 Democrats voted in favor of Tillerson. Tillerson thanked President Trump for the opportunity to serve and noted that he will always represent the interests of the American people. Well, it is Groundhog Day, so for the 131st time, the country's most famous weather visionary will determine when spring will arrive.
Yeah, we had a really awkward version of it here. Well, no, there are dozens of groundhogs making forecasts today, including Chattanooga Chuck, is Punxsutawney Phil that makes Americans pause. Of course, that chubby rodent will emerge from hibernation this morning and see if he sees his shadow. He'll declare there are 6 more weeks of winter. If no shadow, his hibernation is over and an early spring is right around the corner. So we're predicting short spring here in Chattanooga. We'll see if Punxsutawney Phil agrees with Chattanooga Chuck. Now, David Carnes, you and Punxsutawney Phil have been going at it on Twitter so far this morning.
So I just tweeted, he's about to make his forecast, and I was saying that I think that because it's cloudy, that there won't be any sun, so he's not going to see a shadow, which would mean an early spring. Punxsutawney Phil tweets back. He says, "Who says I need the sun to make a shadow?"
Wow.
Okay.
So the all-powerful Punxsutawney Phil. From what I understand, he's omniscient as well. So
there you go.
Probably knows we're talking about him.
Show up here.
Yeah. What we're looking at is a lot of clouds. Call that an early spring, continuation of the nice winter we've been having, but it is going to stay warm. Maybe a few sprinkles out there today too. And right now it's 51 degrees, which temperature's really not going to change that much through the day either.
All right. Thanks, David.
Yep.
Channel 3 Eyewitness News traffic sponsored by CHI Memorial. For 40 years, the Chattanooga Heart Institute has been the recognized leader in advanced cardiovascular care. Visit ChattanoogaHeart.com.
Rise and shine, campers. It's 6:56 on this Groundhog Day, and let's take a live look outside your morning commute. Here's a live picture of this split. There are no accidents to reports on our interstates or state routes. Of course, if anything changes, we'll keep you updated right here on Channel 3. Let's talk about the forecast. See if David Carn saw his shadow this morning while he was getting dressed. Too much information?
48 Cleveland and 46 in Dalton, 44 in Altamont. Nice, comfortable start to the day. The thing is, temperatures aren't going to change much at all. Lots of clouds. Of course, the groundhog didn't see a shadow. No way he could. Too much cloud cover out there. Plus, I think it was dark. We still have quite a few showers to our west moving through the Tennessee Valley. So on and off light showers through the day, a possibility. Your forecast for today, after the showers, 51 degrees to the high. Still mostly cloudy tonight as we get nice and cool. 37 for the overnight low, even dropping down to 26 on Saturday morning. Another shot of a few light showers on Sunday, and then a little more widespread rain as we head into Tuesday. Also notice next week, we're talking about an early spring. Well, let's get it back up into the low 60s from Monday and Tuesday of next week. 55 as we cool down at least a little bit by Wednesday.
Some good rain there on Tuesday as well.
Good stuff.
Good stuff. All right, David, thank you so much. Well, let's recap your top stories this morning. A judge is delaying the sentencing of a woman involved in a fatal hit-and-run accident with a local runner. After nearly 6 hours of testimony, Judge Tom Greenholt says some facts regarding Valerie Bray and Cameron Bean are still unclear. He doesn't want to decide on a sentence until those are cleared up, of course. The court will convene again on March 3rd. Judge Greenholtz hopes to have a decision by then.
Well, a new lawsuit was filed on behalf of the Woodmore Elementary bus crash victims. A Chattanooga couple who had 3 children riding on the Woodmore school bus the day it crashed filed that lawsuit. Katir and Jasmine Mateen filed the suit against Durham School Services and the bus driver Jonathan Walker. One of their children, Zaire Mateen, was one of 6 students killed in the crash. The lawsuit asked for unspecified damages. The deadline to register to vote in the Chattanooga election is Monday.
Yeah, candidates for the next mayor are Larry Groen, David Crockett, Chris Long, and current mayor Andy Burke. And 6 of the 9 city council members will be decided. 3 are running unchallenged. Ken Smith in District 3, Carol Burtz in District 6, and Darren Ledford of District 4. Early voting starts in 2 weeks. Election day, of course, March 7th. You can find your voting location by visiting our website, wrcbtv.com.
Already have you made your pick for the Super Bowl? Well, I'm going for the Falcons, so 2 manatees at an aquarium in Florida made their final decision.
All right, so the 2 manatees are Buffett and Hugh. It was a split decision as Buffett came out into the open water, seemed pretty decisive, picking the Falcons. Hugh seemed a little less sure of his pick before he settled on the Patriots. Just for the record, though, according to the aquarium, Buffett has accurately picked the winner 8 out of 9 years. So we got manatees calling the Falcons. We got woodchucks calling the forecast.
If I can also throw in, I believe Hugh, the manatee, also threw in, well, I think we're going to have a late winner, right? So
a little bit of everything there this morning.
Sorry, back to you.